So this is where we ask that question. Is she going to keep her promise to her daughter, or is she going to break that promise because she wants to marry this man? But let's not forget, she promised her daughter, she promised her that she would not marry this man, that she would not get engaged to this man on her first trip to Nigeria, meeting him for the very first time. But as you saw, she got off the plane. This part I didn't show you, but she got off the plane. This man gave her that kiss, tongues everywhere. Okay, really gave her that, oh, I'm in love with you, baby. Oh my God, you're the best thing in my world type kiss. All right. And after that, she was completely just taken away, her swept off her feet. And then what happens after that? Not only is she smiling like there's no tomorrow, but then she leaves the freaking airport and boom, bam, man's got a whole performance outside ready for her. Traditional and everything. And then boom, bam, gets on one knees. Listen, the emotions are high. She's living in cloud 9. Completely forgot that she has a child at this moment in time. The question is, next week, is she going to say yes and break her daughter's heart again for probably the 16th, 17th, 100th time? Or is she going to say no and stick to her word and say that, no, I'm going to get to know this man first before I do anything. In fact, I'm going to have to tell him everything about me as well. But let's not forget, she's somebody that has been with women for a very long time. And, well, when it comes to Daniel, in his culture, gay relationships, lesbian relationships, same-sex relationships, they are not frowned upon. You are banished. You could be banished, or you could even be... So we shall wait and see. But, of course, they left us on a cliffhanger. But with that being said, let's go into the next one. Let's get into the next video itself in particular. So this one right here is all about Laura and Birkan.
Laura thinks too much about her appearance. It is a curse that you always try to be perfect, but nobody is perfect.
Not gonna lie to you, folks, but he's telling no lies. Nobody is perfect. We have to learn to just be to just accept who we are, you know. But of course, it doesn't mean that we should not try and improve things about ourselves. I think that's the part of life. That's the journey of life. Always improving things about ourselves all the time. Okay, but when I say improve things, it doesn't have to be the same thing. Improving could be anything, you know, whether it be improving your health, improving your job, changing your job, improving your parenting skills, improving your relationship abilities, improving. That's what life is all about. Being stagnant is not it. But nonetheless, though, this man here starts to drop in some gems, and this is just a key scene, because there are so many times that so many people live in a world where they have insecurities. So much to the point that even when they get in a relationship with somebody, they still can't embrace that person's compliments, why that person actually loves them, why that person actually wants to be around, why that person touches them in all ways possible that is appropriate. And to be honest, when people don't allow this in, this can be something that can definitely ruin relationships.
Here I am sitting next to my boyfriend, who happens to be 20 years younger than I am. Like, what the hell was I thinking? This is not romantic. It's okay.
Fair enough. She has insecurities of herself, obviously, in terms of how she looks. But of course, she did lose a significant amount of weight. Obviously, we have not seen how she looked before that. But everybody that has been in a weight loss journey, who has been at a point where they have been obese, or if not worse than that, or maybe may not even be obese, may just be below obese. We all know that sometimes for some people, when you lose weight, sometimes that weight can definitely start to show when you lose it, with the loose skin, with the dead skin, with just so many aspects. And of course, those things can also still affect how you see yourself, because you go from seeing yourself as this large person that you don't want to be anymore, and not feeling comfortable about it, and etc, to then being this person that is slightly smaller or even smaller, but then you see you got all those extra skin that obviously you don't want to see anymore. So I understand how that can be an issue for people, right? But it doesn't change the fact that sometimes you're going to meet somebody who just doesn't care, because they see you for you. But it's okay for you to care. It's okay for you to feel insecure about this stuff, as long as you're looking to improve them. And that's the thing here. She's looking to obviously change things, looking to improve them, which is absolutely fantastic. But when she asks him how he feels, the question is she willing to accept what he says? Or is she going to be like, yeah, I disagree?
You look uncomfortable right now, so I'm curious if...
I'm comfortable with everything. but you have nothing to be ashamed or embarrassed. You have the power to change your life. Lose all the weight you want. This is the best part. You just go into surgery and enjoy your rest of your life, you know?
Listen, the words he said were absolutely amazing, tip top on point. Tip top on point. But again, the question is this: in this moment in time, was she able to embrace these compliments? Was she able to accept these compliments? Was she able to recognize this man likes her for who she is no matter what? Because here's the thing: if she was in a position where she says, no, I disagree, my insecurities are telling me that I'm still looking at myself as this person, but the problem is this: even after she has the surgery, who's to say that's going to change? Because sometimes people have surgery and then they look at their scar and they'll be like, oh, my scar is now bothering me. Look at it, it's this, and that. Some people then get tattoos over the scars. But then sometimes men don't even be happy with the tattoo that's over the scar. Oh, look at that part of the tattoo, it's not looking good, da. Point being is that sometimes when people change themselves for the better, they may do it physically, but they don't always do it mentally. So the question is she going to be on this journey where she's also going to change her mental perception of herself while she's going through the weight loss journey? Because if she does not change the mental aspect of herself, then guess what? All of this surgery, all of that stuff, it won't be for nothing. It just won't go appreciated by herself, which is always going to be a problem for herself as a person, as well as for her relationship with other people. Now, based on what I've seen on social media, I don't know if she actually did go through with the surgery, because it doesn't seem as if she has. But then again, on social media, she looks like she's the same size, but it doesn't mean that she is, because of course, depends on the fashion, isn't it, really and truly, right? So these are key things to remember, folks. If you are somebody that is insecure about your own appearances, bear in mind that you being insecure appearances can be something that can be the thing that ruins your relationship with your lover, or maybe just even with people around you in general. Bear that in mind. So when it comes to your appearance, find your confidence. Whether you are somebody, find your confidence, right? And that's just the key thing. But when I say find your confidence, don't find confidence that's going to keep you in an unhealthy state. But that's still not good, really and truly, long term, right? But find confidence that allows you that even when you are in an unhealthy state, you will still be able to love yourself once you get to the healthy state. But of course, some people enjoy that unhealthy state. So it is what it is. You do you, you know what I mean? But either way, as long as you're mentally good, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. What? Physically and mentally good both matter together, to be fair, you know what I mean? I live by that rule 100%. You have to be healthy both ways, but some people, you got to pick your poison, right? Now, with that being said, though, we're going to move on to the next couple. So, yes. Yeah, let's get into these two interesting humans.
So I'm not going to meet anyone in your family while I'm here.
Maybe, yeah, that's what I think.
Don't you think that's a little frustrating for me?
It is.
Like, I'm not seeing your apartment, I'm not meeting your family. Argument we got into a couple weeks ago.
What?
When I found out that you were still talking to girls. To girls on your social media.
Social media is just people who know me.
First and foremost, this man does not want to introduce you to his family members or his friends or anyone like that. That tells you a lot about how he views you and how he sees you. First and foremost, that would definitely give you the confirmation that he definitely won't be proposing on this trip. For sure. Well, maybe he had plans to propose on this trip. Maybe he had plans to introduce you to his friends and family. But then he met you and realized how much of a headache you are. And maybe he said, you know what, F that. I'm just going to spend time with you for a while you're here. But once you're gone, you're gone. There's no more me and you ever again. You never know. But one thing that I can say is that Emma is back in America and Zaid is still back home in Morocco, I believe it is. So, yeah, that doesn't mean that they're not together anymore. It just shows that clearly, obviously, you know, they just didn't return to America together. And she didn't stay there for longer, per se. But hey, let's continue with this interesting conversation. And the most jarring thing about this conversation is that it's all built on her to just wanting to finally tell him the truth about her relationship with her ex. And it's crazy because her way of doing it is to try and see if he's done wrong first. That is a pure narcissistic type trait. Not healthy.
I've been looking at your page. Just girls.
No, there's not,
Yeah,
no,
and it's like thousands of people that you follow.
there is, it's like respect. If someone follow me, I follow him back.
So what if the girls try to flirt with you? What do you say?
I would say thanks, that's all.
Broski said, I'll say thanks. What are you talking about? I mean, first and foremost, this whole follow, yeah, that sounds very suspect. Let's be real. You're not following anyone back that you don't want to follow back. If you're going to follow someone back, you're going to follow someone back because you have an interest of some kind, right? That's how it usually works. I mean, obviously, based on the context of this conversation, that's how it works. And also, on top of that, why are you going to respond to women if you already got a woman? You know, I mean, if I've got a woman in my life, why am I responding to others? Make that make sense. Make it make sense. But again, she is fishing. She said it herself. She checks his profile every single day to see who he's following. So she fishes his page every single day. So therefore, she can find something to use against him when she tells him the truth about her secrets. Problematic. Don't get twisted though. There are women out there that will check your page every single day without this context involved, purely because they have insecurities anyway. But in this situation, the way she's going about it is just nasty. Absolutely nasty.
So since we've been dating, have you talked romantically with any other girls?
I speak only with you like something romantic because you are my girl.
You would never cheat?
No.
Or lie?
No.
I just don't want us to have any secrets between each other.
Meanwhile, she's the one holding the secret. Yeah, about that. It's crazy to believe that they're both 27, but yet she's acting as if she's like so much older than him with this interrogation. It's crazy business.
For me, everything on me, I say to you. I remember very much. We talking, and one day, where is she? I don't know. We just go away. Can you just give me some details why you this prayer?
I was just going through a bad breakup.
So now he finally flips the lid. He finally says, listen, do you know what? There was a time when you just disappeared on me. So now let's ask you the question. What's going on? I need all the information. Give me the details. And she goes, I was going for a bad breakup. So you decided to go online, to find a guy to date while you're going for a breakup. I mean, it's not cheating, nothing like that, but damn. You're basically saying that you wasn't really available, was you now? Or you were looking for a rebound. But the whole thing is just toxic. It doesn't make any sense, to be honest with you. I was going for a breakup, so that's why I decided to talk to you, but then decided to not talk to you for a minute because... But that wasn't the truth. Yeah, let's get down to the truth.
So now, when we were speaking the first time, you give me a picture of you like you are single. You know? And you are not.
Well, I was going through a breakup.
I have to repeat again? I have to repeat?
No.
So you want to...
Let's be real. All she's going to do is say, break up, break up, break up.
I would say if I was going through a breakup. That's my answer. I was going through a breakup. I wasn't in the right headspace to start a relationship. I mean, honestly, I did kind of just drop him and disappear because I was trying to make things work with my ex. So I'm just not really ready to tell him in this moment.
And that is the truth. The real truth. The only truth. The reason why she behaved the way she behaved, as you said, is because she was trying to get back at her ex. So she couldn't even tell them the truth in that situation, but then had the audacity to say that the reason why I don't feel I can tell him the truth right now is because of the way he's behaving right now. Let's not forget, why do you think that he's behaving this way right now? Why do you think he's a bit, gaslit? Is it because the whole time when he was trying to ask you questions, you forced him, well not forced him, but you put him in a position where you had to keep repeating the same question again because you was not answering it properly. You were saying that you was going for a breakup. The first moment that he asked you that question of, well, let's talk about you. Why did you disappear with me? That was the very first moment that she should have said, you know what? I'm just going to let you know now that I disappeared because I was trying to get back at my ex. That's as simple as 1, 2, 3. And at that time, his mood was still in a good mood. And to be fair, even by the time she had gaslit him anyway, and she kept asking him and he had to keep asking her multiple times, and she kept saying, oh, but I was going for a breakup, I was going for a breakup, I was going for a breakup. Like, she's the one that created that whole tension that would then obviously get him heated. But was he really that heated? Not really, per se. I mean, she still could have told him. But let's be real, folks. There's never a right time to tell someone something that is not good news. Bad news, it never fools at the right time. That's why you always have to say it when you need to say it. You say it when you say it. That's it, boom, bam. Don't think about it, say it. That's it, boom, bam. Get it out of the way. Stop wasting time. Stop talking gibberish. Just let it out. But no. Not with this woman, no. She's going to gaslight the hell out of him and then say, no, I can't tell him right now because it's not the right time. He's looking a bit agitated. I wonder why. Wow. This woman is a walking red flag. She is a deal breaker, if anything. I don't know what I find more annoying. The fact that earlier in the episode, she went into a hair shop to get some hair products, even though she wears a wig. Not that it doesn't mean she doesn't need hair products. Or the fact that she reminds like Shekinah so much. I find it so annoying. And she pulls the exact same straight face as Shekinah as well. I hope to never see these two to see Shekinah and Emma on the same season. Given that they're ever coming back, of course. But nonetheless, though, let's move on to the last situation. And this one was explosive. And trust me when I tell you, calamity.
After everything, the last 7 years, cutting off your family is the only thing we can do. It's time to be independent, it's time to be strong, and I'm going to be behind you and be your backbone.
Imagine someone telling you that, you know, it's time for you to cut up your family when they actually have nothing to offer you. Let's let this sink in. There's only one person right now that's employed between these two. Man's coming in, flew to America. And then he's like, listen, we're going to go to your house, tell your family that we're cutting them off because we don't like the way they're bullying you. But broski, you don't have that type of power to do that because you don't even work. How are you going to provide for her? If you take away from her family, then what? I mean, let's just let these things sink in, right? Before you start acting as if you've got bragging rights, at least make sure you've got bragging rights. If you see what I'm saying? Anyway, let's continue. Now, is he wrong to want to take away from a family? I'm going to say yeah, because really and truly, he doesn't even have the full picture yet.
Because in my culture, parents are the one who should approve if we are going to marry someone.
Sheena, why didn't you explain this to me beforehand?
Sheena has never told me that I need her parents' approval to marry her. I feel like after everything I've heard about them and how they have been mistreating Sheena, but now I have to go and get their approval. Well, I have to tell them that their days are basically numbered with.
First and foremost, I don't know why he didn't know that information. I mean, first, you know what I mean? Like it is. I want to say it's common knowledge, but there are some people out there who do live a very naive life. You know, it's a very boxed life where they are oblivious to so many other things that are common knowledge about other people. You know, but to be fair, it is also still low-key common knowledge that, generally speaking, it has traditionally been known for a man to go and ask for permission to marry someone's daughter, but to go to the father, or if the father's not there, to go to the mother. It's not something that everybody follows, just to get it twisted, but it is something that is known. Do you see what I'm saying? And therefore, after watching 90 Day Fiancé for so many years, everybody knows that when you are dating someone from Thailand, the Philippines, Indonesia, all those areas, regardless, to be fair with you, everybody knows that, generally speaking, you have to get permission from the family to be able to marry that person's child. Or daughter, should I say, for that matter. But hey, you know, FORREST the kind of person who thinks he can just skip lines. Yeah, but let's get into it.
Getting money away from their daughter. This does.
Personally, before we introduce your parents, because if I would take your mom to the province and she would cause a lot of commotion, then things doesn't quite work.
I mean, listen, she's not lying. She's not lying in any type of form. But let's just go back a step. Last episode, she said that her family basically put her in a position where she has to pay them because she's the breadwinner. You know? She basically paying her family as people who are not necessarily bullies, but people that control her life. People that don't give her no freedom. And now she's talking about how he needs to get permission from them. And then also on top of that, also saying, but I don't know if I can bring your mum now. But really and truly, if you really wanted to get away from your parents' control, let's be real. Molly, his mother, will probably be the best person to bring. Because she's going to come in hot. And she's going to turn tables. And she's going to get you results. Which is where things get a bit interesting within the rest of this video. Because this is when things start to kind of backtrack a little bit when it comes to Sheena and the thing that she says.
If Sheena's family is able to manipulate Sheena the way that they do, with the whole tradition and then who's to say they can't manipulate FORREST?
But who's to say that Sheena isn't the one that's manipulating this whole time?
Need to be there with FORREST and Sheena.
In reality, you are a very hardcore person. You know you are going to go and look for anything that to be said. And
I cannot trust Sheena yet. She has not trusted, and I cannot trust you now.
This is the perfect
I cannot trust you now.
When she started asking her own son, can I trust you now? I was like, oh, this is getting intense now. She's the mother that, listen, no matter what happens in life, she's going to find a way to get what she wants. Saying to her son, I don't even know if I trust you or if you trust me. The whole thing's becoming a mess. Imagine this. You fly over to a different country to be there for your son, to meet his girl, and literally within the first 2-3 days, whatever, of meeting this woman, you and your son are now actually having a war because... Not because of her, but because of her, because she is in the middle of the situation. That tells you a lot about your relationship. It tells you a lot about whether or not if this woman is worth being with, if she's now clashing between you and your mother. And I say this because, you see, when it comes to Debbie and Colt, Debbie was always against Colt having partners for the most part. She was always trying to instigate and ruin things. That was a bit different. In this situation, Mummy here was just trying to come over with her son simply because her son was scammed prior. He went to Indonesia all by himself to meet a woman, and what happened? She scammed the hell out of him. So of course this time she's going to be protective. So of course this time she's going to want to go with him. But at the same time, she was trying to support the idea. She took him to a freaking sex shop. She done quite a bit, to be fair, to be encouraging to the relationship. But as a protective mother, because of what her son's gone through, because of what her son's gone through in the past and what she knows of him, she just wants to be there to protect him. When it came to Debbie and Colt, it was a bit different because Colt's the one that was doing these women dirty. I mean, he's still doing women dirty till this day. Do you see what I'm saying? So when it came to Debbie, she was in the wrong. When it comes to Molly, is she really in the wrong to try and protect her son, who she knows has made mistakes after mistakes after mistakes? So, yeah, I can understand why she's now hurt by her son's actions, and I can understand why this is an issue. But this is the same time when I say that if I am FORREST now, I'm looking and I'm thinking, damn, my woman has caused all this issue while I've been here simply because she won't answer a simple question, and that is, why did you lie to me about the money? We got to look at the details, folks. We got to look at the details. My mama don't like... Wait, what's the song again? Is it My mama don't like you and she likes everyone? You know that song, right? That's what comes to mind right now. I'm just saying... I'm not saying Sheena is the problem. I'm not saying that she's necessarily a red flag or a deal breaker per se, but... No, I'm lying. No, I'm not saying she's a red flag or she's a deal breaker, but I'm saying that she's a problem right now. And FORREST needs to figure out why this is happening. Do you see what I'm saying? Like... And it's crazy because all she has to do is just tell the truth. That's all she's got to do. Just answer the question and that's it. Game over. But let's be real. If she and him don't work out, all he's going to have is still his own mother regardless.
This was the whole reason why I came here, was to protect FORREST from Sheena's parents. This is...
Sheena, your parents are going to do the same line that they've used on you all along, the cultural thing, and all of a sudden, under one day, you can miraculously change and...
Isn't the bad people. It's just that all we got misunderstood.
Oh, but now the story changes again.
Where is the lie? The story has changed again. There is no lie behind that in any shape or form. It has changed again. Like I said before, at the very beginning of this video, folks. No, well, not this video, but very beginning of this segment, this stuff in particular. I showed her the clip where he comes in guns blazing and says to her, I'm telling your parents I'm taking you away from them. And her response was, oh no, but you have to meet my parents and get permission from them and your mum can't come. She really did change her tone, to be fair. And now she's doing it again. Again, none of these things necessarily mean that Sheena is a bad person or her intentions are in the wrong place. But what it does mean is that she's very bad at sticking to the same story. It seems to me as if she says what she needs to say in certain situations, which could be a problem. Not necessarily, could be a problem because it means that when she's under pressure, she may be someone that struggles to actually be authentic rather than to be real. Which, to be fair, isn't necessarily a good thing per se. But I mean, listen, I don't have no issues with Sheena. I think she's, listen, I'm hoping that she's the best person in the world. But it seems to me, when it comes to being honest, it's a bit of a sticky one.
Kid family, remember? You're scared of your family. But now you feel totally safe and...
Yes, I understand.
How that switches. These aren't bad people. It's like, what are you saying? That's a total different story from what you've been telling me all along. Oh, they're mistreating me. They're going to kick me out. I still don't know if this isn't something that you're involved in either.
And that's the killer question right there. Where does your involvement come in all of these things? Now, I get it, folks. I get it again. The money that they're all talking about is money that Sheena earned. I get that. Absolutely understand that. But if you cannot be honest with your partner about your finances, what else are you not be honest about? If you're always telling your partner, if you're always going to break your promises to your partner, then what does that tell you about yourself? What does that tell you about how you view your partner? See, here's the thing, folks. Some people here are like, yeah, but it's not his money in the first place, blah, blah, blah. But people are ignoring the real problem here. The real problem here. The bigger problem here. And the bigger and the real problem here, folks, is very simple. Why does she have to be lying? Why can she not be truthful? Because if you can't be truthful, if you cannot trust to tell your partner the truth, then how can you trust her to even be with that person? Why would you want to marry that person? Why would you want to be in the same bed as that person? Why would you still talk to that person? Like I said, Even the smallest of lies in a relationship can still turn things upside down. Even the smallest lies that you can get away with can put you in a position where you eventually start to make bigger lies the more you go along. How do you stop these things? How do you prevent these things? Be real, be authentic, tell the truth. And that's that. But Sheena now, she's going for the other option. Backtracking, withholding information, not telling the truth. I mean, but again, all she got to do is just explain why. To FORREST. Doesn't have to tell his mum anything. She's not in a relationship with his mother. She's got to tell him. But even when he asked her, she didn't want to tell him. Did not want to tell him.
Be the most perfect setup for your family and you guys. You go to the United States, so you get FORREST to come over there, and then it's twice the amount of money to your parents. And he will be the grunt just like you are. Stop, don't do that. My fear is FORREST is going to say and do anything just to keep your love, and then find out that it was all a con. It's not even the point.
I mean, it's a fair point, no? Is there potentially that she doesn't want to come to the US, she wants him to stay there, get a job there, and therefore there's more money coming into the pocket of her parents rather than into their relationship? I mean, it could be. I feel like that one's a wild one. It's probably hella reaching. I don't think that's possible, but anything is possible. Listen, all I know is that mum is just trying to get answers, so therefore she's just spamming. She's just saying, let me just say anything and everything until I get a reaction. But to be fair, Sheena did make it abundantly clear that she does love FORREST. She does want to be with him.
No, we've gone beyond that. It's already gone beyond that. You know why it's gone beyond that? Because of the fact that you don't trust me.
Ooh, my mama don't like you and she likes everyone. It's crazy because nowadays when I have that song in my head, all I ever think about is, was Justin Bieber talking about Diddy this whole time? Anyway, listen, like I get why she's upset, because she has been the rock to her son. She has been his backbone. She has been everything to him for his whole entire life, and for him to just go and throw in the towel against his mother to a woman he's just met, I can understand why the mum feels this way, because of course she wants to feel like her son should trust her to want to do the right thing for her, no matter what, regardless of anything. If her way is to be explosive, blah, 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 it is what it is. Either way, she's trying to do the right thing for her child. And that's what it comes down to, right? And so I understand why she's upset, why she's in her feelings. And to be fair, this is probably the first time, or one of the very few times, she's experienced her son rebel against her. And unfortunately, she's like, it's all for a woman. And the crazy thing about it is that his mum predicted it. She did say that once he gets a whiff of that woman, boom, it's going to be game over for my son. And to be fair, at the same time, when he's told her that he was looking to potentially stay there for longer, before they left America to obviously go there, he did say that he may stay there for a week or so longer than his mum basically. And also that was something that was quite shocking as well. And of course, these things worry her, because she's thinking, well, what's going to happen? I'm not here. Are they going to pull one over you? Again, let's not forget, the mum's reaction, is due to so many factors that we probably don't know. But one of the factors that we do know is that her son has been scammed before. And I'm pretty sure anybody would behave the way she's behaving too if their child had been put in this situation once upon a time. Oh boy, let the drama commence. Let it all continue. Oh my gosh. I'm all for it. It's funny as hell. Anyway, with that being said, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. We'll talk about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.